All right, today I'm going to talk you through your lead setups. So these are the 3 lead setups that I use depending on the situation. So we'll do the first one is just your standard inline lead. So I always use some sort of leader for the most part. Depends on how lazy I am. So standard inline lead, regular swivel, hook links tied just directly to it. So that pulls in. When the fish takes the bait, that can actually pull out and kind of become free running. We call this semi-fixed. That allows, if you break off, the fish can lose that lead, and then it'll eventually, the hook will rust out, or it'll lose, the hook falling out of its mouth eventually. That's a fish safety thing. Same thing goes if it's just your main line mono or braid. Fish safety's the important part. That way we're not hurting and killing the fish by them dragging a lead around. So the next one is a lead clip setup. So you need the tail rubber, the lead clip, your swivel leads. These I generally use with kind of a stiffer hook link material. So it's some fluoro on a Ronnie rig. You can use them with regular hook link as well. I just tend not to. Personal preference, that's how I fish. When I do get lead clips, I look for ones that do have this pin. What that pin does is when you pull the swivel down in there, the eye of the swivel actually lines up with that hole, and this pin locks it into place. So now that swivel can't come out of there. And then you would attach your rig, put that in, the little tail rubber, which of course I can't get over. I didn't cut that one long enough. You get the idea. I would use a longer one. I don't know why I put such a short piece on there. But anyways, you want that to cover up the arm there. And then your lead goes in the arm, like so. And then the tail rubber comes down and locks that all into place. Now these are designed to drop the lead so that when the fish picks up and you're fighting it, I don't want to hook myself, that comes off, you lose your lead. That's why they're designed this way. What some people do, if you don't want to lose your lead and you're using this for whatever reason you have to use it and not lose your lead, you can cram that all the way down, right up against it, and the chances of that coming off are a lot less. The lead clips are designed to lose the lead. So if you're fishing in weed, anything like that with snags, dropping that lead is going to help you land more fish because it's not acting as a pivot point below the fish dragging in the weeds and the snags. The last one is a helicopter setup. So these I pretty much always run on lead core because I like how it sits to the bottom. I have a chod rig on there, which is my favorite pop-up rig. So it's got a little clips to the lead, and then it has some beads. These ones are from ESP. They have this little buffer tube. These are actually their chod rig leaders. It works the same as a helicopter setup with the lead at the end. With this little buffer, as you're playing the fish, this doesn't ever come direct contact up by the lead, so you get a little bit less hook pulls. I rarely get a hook pull when using this. If I don't use it, I end up getting more because your lead gets right up next to your hook, and that weight bashing around can make it come out. The thing I like about these is the 2 beads make them adjustable. So if you wanted to fish closer to the lead, you can move the beads. If, say, you have a lot of weed and you're trying to fish on top of it, you can move that top bead up, and you can move that bottom bead up. Your lead's gonna hit, sink to the bottom, and this is gonna slowly drape onto the top of whatever you're fishing and lay across the top of it. When it comes to fish safety for these, this top bead actually has a little piece of silicone there, and when the fish goes this way with it, it will pop that bead off. Of course, it's not gonna work now. It'll pop that bead off that silicone and then become kind of free running. So in the chance you break off and it hooks a fish while you're not attached to it, the fish only ends up with that little bit in their mouth, which the hook will eventually rust out and it'll fall out. So another fish safety thing. So those 3 lead systems will do 100% of your fishing until you get into like zig rigs and stuff like that. But you can look into running rigs, which is basically an inline setup, and people will put a bead in between here so it never sets in there, and it allows the fish almost 0 resistance when it's picking up because it's just doing that. Comes in, it's all use case. It's how you fish and what you're finding effective for you. And that's the best thing about fishing is we all do it a little different, and what works for us might not work for somebody else. So depending on how you fish, there's your basic lead setups. So we'll see you guys in another video.